I saw a comment that said, finally, our real Motley Crue, referring to the Motley Crue without legendary founding member Mick Mars and the one with John 5. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. Jeez, can't even do the intro. If you like this video at any point in time, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and leave a comment down below. I'm really having trouble even getting through the intro, guys. That I always say that at the intro because I'm trying to grow the channel, but man, for somebody to say finally our real Motley Crue, talking about the Crue sans Mick Mars with John 5. Couldn't have been said better by Nikki Sixx if you tried. I mean, that's sad. I mean, what kind of... Jesus Christ. What kind of a crew head are you to make a statement like that? I mean, it's rumored that Nikki wasn't even playing his bass. Vince sounds like trash. Okay, Tommy's a good drummer, fine. Okay, but I mean, did Mick ever? I mean, Mick was always on point. Why would you say that you finally have a real Motley Crue? I mean, the guy was like next to death. Those last few tours, he could barely move. He was giving what he didn't have so that Motley would continue. There's a lot of hateful comments out there, guys. I don't know where this animosity for Mick Mars came from. And I don't know what Motley is saying about him. I did read that they basically called him senile. I did read that they said he was being taken advantage of by his managers and his legal team. I did read that they said that he, well, I'm not even going to say that because I don't know if that's true or not. I think I saw that, but I'm not going to say unless I know that I saw that. And with Motley, it all is about money. I think that's the motivation for what they did to Mick Mars. You know, how they trashed him in the press. And they did trash him in the press. And Mick did leave. The touring, but not the band. And to me, well, let's not talk about age. Let's not talk about illness. Let's just talk about track record. The guy gave 41 years to Motley Crue. 41 years. Never had a Brides or a 1958. Never had a 6 a.m. Never had a Vince Neil band. Never had a Methods of Mayhem. Never had any of that. He was always about Motley Crue. And even when he was gaslit, even when he was told he wasn't a good guitar player, like during the Generation Swine era, he just kept going. And after 41 years to be done the way that he was done, and to now see comments from people saying, we finally have a real Motley Crue. And by the way, his solo stuff's amazing. It's really, really good. Really good. I mean, like, really good. So he's not senile. And he's not being taken advantage of. But to put that out there shows you what kind of people we're dealing with right here. It really does. But these comments, I don't think most of you are crew heads leaving these comments. I think you're trolls. And they always say don't feed the trolls, but hey, I guess I'm guilty of it. I guess your comment was trashy and scumbag enough to make me mad, and I'm here talking a video about it. Maybe you got what you were looking for. I don't know. I'll tell you what, though. I'm not going to stay quiet. Not going to stay quiet. Because it's hurtful. It's inaccurate. It's unacceptable to me. Now, you can say it. I applaud you for saying it. I'm not saying you shouldn't say it. Well, I am saying you shouldn't say it. That's what I am saying. You shouldn't say it. But trying to stay nice and calm, you know, you're listening to cool jazz. You should be able to say it. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me very upset. Because I was a CRUE head since Decade of Decadence. I didn't have the good fortune of seeing the CRUE throughout the 80s because I was born in 1978. So I actually picked up Decade of Decadence. I was like, this is amazing. And I played that cassette out till it wore out. And I was waiting for the new record. And then Vince got fired or left or whatever. And I was like, damn. So I started listening to other music. And then I was like, wait a minute. I started reading Hit Parade or Metal Edge. I always read them, but I started reading these articles where they were talking about John Corabi. And those shots they took in Vancouver, in the snow, in the leather jackets. And there wasn't anything glamorous about it. The guys looked like they were about to have frostbite or something. It's something about those articles and the build-up to that 94 album. And buying that 94 album, and I bought the one with the red graffiti, not the yellow. And from beginning to end, that album was just freaking gold. I loved it. I loved it. And I had every intention of seeing them play live, but they canceled their tour. Mick Mars was all over that record. And then they put out Generation Swine later when they reunited, and I wasn't super impressed with Generation Swine, but it was a good record also. And every record thereafter. And I never stopped listening to Motley, and I bought the whole catalog, and also when they re-released it on Motley Records, I bought it all. And to this day, Kiss and Motley are my favorite bands, 1 and 2 consecutively. And the difference between 1 and 2 is minuscule. I mean, I'm really, honestly, Kiss and Motley are my favorite bands. And how much of that is Mick Mars? I mean, come on. For somebody now in 2024 to say after John 5's been a member, not even a year or maybe a year, I don't know, that now that is the real Motley Crue. I mean, it's like, you can't possibly be a CRUE head. There's no way that you're a real CRUE head. You're either a troll or maybe you're Nikki Sixx. I don't know. But there's just no way that you're a CRUE. No CRUE head would say that they finally have the real Motley Crue. Meaning that when it was with Mick, it wasn't real. But with John 5, a guy that did not pay his dues, that did not take the band to a #1 album. They were #1. Dr. Feelgood was #1 in the country. Not in the rock charts, the top Billboard 200 charts. #1. And except for that Whitney Houston fiasco, Girls, Girls, Girls was also going to be #1. It was #2, but it was basically another #1. Mick, Tommy, Vince, Nikki, that is Motley Crue. For somebody to write that there is finally a Motley Crue, a real Motley Crue, because John 5 is in the band, I'm not having it.